Hey Megamaniacs, I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today we're checking out Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD Edition for Nintendo Switch. This game originally came out on the Wii. It has been remastered in high definition, and the controls have been updated from using a Wiimote to actually using Switch controls on your Joy-Cons or on your Pro Controller. They included a bonus set of stickers inside, which is a nice touch because, as I always say, manuals and extras are getting ever increasingly rare inside of physical games. So, anytime somebody actually makes the extra effort, I've got to salute them and say thank you. Now, a printed instruction manual would have been even better yet, but this is certainly better than nothing. And not the least they could do because they're actually pretty high quality stickers, and they even come with a little child-proof warning: caution, choking hazard, children under 2. So they're clearly, children under 3, pardon me, but they're clearly letting you know this is for collectors. And I mean, they even put it in a protected bag, so that sort of defines it right there. Here's the actual Switch cartridge game. Gotta love physical games. Gotta not love when they have to download updates the very first time you want to play them. And let's see how long this one is going to be. It's taking a while just to fire up. And we got 7 minutes to go. You know what? When this happens, I usually just play another game to kill time that won't demand Wi-Fi. So how about I dig into a little bit of Steam World, pun intended. It's always a good way to kill time. And hopefully, once I've played for 7 or 8 minutes, this will be done. Alright, let's check on Super Monkey Ball. Yeah, it looks like it's done now, so time to get to the review proper. I suppose I could be making an erroneous assumption that those of you watching have played any of the previous Super Monkey Ball games, but if you haven't, then I should tell you they have a long history dating back, I'd say at least to the GameCube, but I think they were also in arcades before that, because as the shrink wrap said on the cover of Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, the arcade classic is back. I think Sega released this in arcades in Japan before they ported it to the GameCube. Now, the idea behind the series is deceptively simple. You're a monkey trapped inside a ball, and the only thing you can do is roll your ball around. It sounds crazy if you've never played these games, but it is surprisingly addictive because if you were a fan of any of those marble maze games when you were a little kid, and I know I had a wooden one with cranks on the side that you would guide the ball through the maze. That's basically what you're doing in Super Monkey Ball, except you're doing it from a first-person perspective, or maybe a camera over the shoulder perspective, but pretty close to actually being the ball going through the maze, and your controller is how you steer the ball instead of cranks on either side of the maze. So it's a very rewarding concept to actually guide yourself through these mazes, and Banana Blitz added something that none of the previous entries in the series had, which was jumping, because normally you would just roll your ball through the maze, right? But they added different layers and obstacles that you could only get over by using your Wiimote to simulate the motion of jumping over. Like you would just flip up your Wiimote, if I remember correctly. But thankfully for this HD remastered edition, you no longer have to do it that way. You can actually just hit the A button on your Joy-Con or your Pro Controller and just jump without having to wiggle waggle your remote all over the place. And you had to tilt the remote to tilt your monkey ball anyway, and now you don't have to do that. You can use your thumbsticks. You can just guide him around the maze without ever having to tilt your actual Joy-Cons. So as you can see, you can kind of ricochet off the walls if you're not steering very carefully. and getting the controls down can be occasionally a little erratic, as you can see there. I made a mistake, hit the wrong button, went flying right off the track. Didn't mean to jump going around that turn, but pressed the A button by mistake, and I was already ping-ponging around, so it didn't help matters. There are always goals in each level. Collecting all the bananas is one of the goals. Setting the best time you can is another. Getting all the bananas and also getting the best time would be the ideal combination. But much as I wanted to do that in some of these levels, it seemed to me like it was trying to force me into some challenge mode where if I retry a level to get the best time, it wasn't going to let me do that. So I just decided, screw it. I'm not going for the best time on multiple retries. I'm just going to complete whatever medal challenge they have. I'm trying to think of what else to say for those who have never played these games before. There's, how do I put it? There's a Crazy Taxi kind of feel to this game. I'm not 100 on this, so you'll just have to take my word because I'm not going to look it up in the middle of the video as I play this bonus stage, but if it's not from the same developers of Crazy Taxi, then it was very definitely running on the same hardware as Crazy Taxi, because Sega had that Naomi system, which was basically a Dreamcast, but only for arcade use, and it had special keys that would unlock it for playing on the arcade hardware that were encoded onto the discs, and it wouldn't run without the correct hardware and the correct key. It was watch a Modern Vintage Gamer video if you really want to get in depth about the Naomi arcade hardware, because MVG did a really good breakdown of it in one of his videos. I am very sure it was him that I watched talk about that. But other than the lockout features, it was basically a Sega Dreamcast inside an arcade cabinet, which is why Sega games from a certain era, like Crazy Taxi and Super Monkey Ball and Space Channel 5, the one with the dancing chick, yeah, they all kind of have that same Dreamcast arcade look. And it was very easy to port games from the arcade home, which is another reason that I feel like the Monkey Ball series started out in the arcade, because with the time limit, it's definitely styled like a quarter eater. Like, if you don't complete the missions, you're going to have to pump another quarter in. And because it was so easy to convert things from Naomi to Dreamcast, and I think at least in a couple of cases vice versa, there was definitely plenty of incentive for these games to come to home systems. But I feel like the Monkey Ball series took on a life of its own thanks to the GameCube and later editions ported to other platforms. But the GameCube is definitely where the Monkey Ball games broke out, or should I say rolled out, and became something of a sensation. Now, if I complete a few more of these tracks, we're going to end up at a boss battle stage, which was also a new development for Banana Blitz. You're kind of getting teasers of it here because these birds are using their wings to create gusts of wind, and the wind can blow you off the track if you're not careful. Anywhere there's not a guardrail, you can roll off the track, and if you get blown off the track, same effect. So the way to handle that is to just get up enough speed that even if the gust of wind pushes you, it can't push you off the track because you're already going fast enough to make it past, even if the wind pushes you a little one way or the other. So now we're getting to the big bird, and he's not from Sesame Street. This one, you have to bop him on the head several times, and the only way you can do that is when he gets tired from trying to blow you off the track, or he pecks the ground trying to hit you with his giant beak, and then his head gets stuck in the ground, and you can jump on his head then. So those are your two ways to attack him. But if you're rolling and you hit a gust of wind, you get blown right out. So you want to roll around the track when he's flapping his wings. Therefore, he can never get up enough momentum to send you out of the arena. Like right there, for example, I'm just standing there in one spot, so the wind could have taken me if I moved even a little bit. Rolling around the track clockwise or counterclockwise is a good way to counteract the wind gusts because he can never quite catch up to you if you're rolling one direction or the other. The other thing you don't want to do when he's flapping his wings like that is jump, because you'll just go rocketing out of the boss stage immediately. If you get airborne, the wind just takes you and you have no hope of returning. So you should only jump at him when he's not blowing a gust, as you can see there. So in conclusion, is Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD a worthy purchase for your Nintendo Switch? Well, I would say if you liked any of the previous Monkey Ball games, you would definitely like this one. If you wanted an updated version that was easier to control, you would like this one. If you're a fan of maze, ball games, rolling games, puzzle type games, this one is also fitting the bill. And there is party games included besides the main story mode, so you can play with friends. You can hook up multiple controllers and get in balls and roll toward each other and do all sorts of crazy antics. So even though I focus mostly on the campaign when I play Monkey Ball games, the mini games, the party games and such, they offer some replay value as well. So I think it's worthwhile. For others, it may be too kiddish, too cartoonish, too cute. But for me, it gets the job done. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.